My name is Mel, and today I will talk about an important topic for me, and it is my discovery of Jesus Christ and God. This video is not tested. It is a beginning towards a journey that I want to start to, I would say, document in the best way that I can. So I am absolutely not even closer to the knowledge of a pastor, or I'm nothing like, I don't know enough to be able to give you the proper knowledge that you might seek. But I do think, brothers and sisters, that even people that have just started their journey can help others find God if they just show themselves. To talk to God is essential. To study the Bible is essential. And when you are in a situation or in a difficult situation in general, talking to God is as essential as opening up to people, to other Christians, on why you decided to start this journey towards God. I think it is important to open up when, especially for people like me that do not speak. So I always believed in God, in Jesus Christ. I always believed that there was one God. And although unfortunately I was born in a very violent household, and my mother was not a believer and was very, very, very strict towards me on not read the Bible. She would often force me out from the school classes, the Christian classes and lessons, and she arrived to the point of burning Holy Bible. When I took a little bit of the money, instead of eating in my school, I would instead put away some money, and then I have bought my own little Bible to just sneak and try to read, but she had found it and burned it. I also had a father, which is still alive, but I won't go into details. But he is an extremely cruel person. And when I was a kid, he would use the moments of my mother being drunk or drugged or at work to find men to give me to in exchange of money. What happened was humiliating and horrifying. I was 8 years old when he started to assault me. And then around my 12 years of age, I became too old for his clients. From there, my father used the Bible to be atoned, to be forgiven. It would say to me that he didn't need to ask forgiveness to anyone because God had forgiven him, and he knew that in his heart. But then it would repeat the same things with other kids, and I could not do anything. My mother was destroyed by alcoholism, and eventually I had to stop going to school to start working when I was around 14 years old, to be able to help my mom finances, as she was also addicted to slot machines. My father saw the destruction that he brought to the family, and he was scared of somebody talking, especially me, because as I truly wanted to help my mother, I also, it didn't matter how difficult she was. She was a good woman, but she was not able to be a mother, and she was forced to become a mother by my father, and then that later used me as an excuse or a threat to be given money from her. So alcoholism was heavy also because of that pain. She did not hate me, but at the same time she hated the life that my father gave her through me. So when I was still a teenager, I still loved my mom. I still thought that there was something deeper than just I just like to drink. At my age, in my country, I was basically the only girl of color in my classes. So I was always seen as this weirdo person that didn't really fit into anything. But there was also, and now, let me say it, now the schools are completely different. And I thank God that the diversity is starting to kick in between the kids. And there's so many ethnicities in the schools now. And it's essential, honestly, so that kids can learn through friendship and care what their parents maybe are not able to help with, or they are present with them, but at the same time, I think that practice is more important than only words, you know? So when I was a kid, I was always isolated, and I clearly had symptoms of abuse and stuff, but I was stereotyped as the black kid, even though I'm mixed. But where I live here, we are still called bastards. We do not have the word mixed or anything else. There is also another word which I'm not gonna say, which is often used for animals, so half-breed animals. We have neither bastard or that word, which I really, really dislike. But so I was always in this situation where I did not know about God. And after what my father did, and after what he did before he decided to run away in the UK and make a new family, And then when my mother died in 2011, bless her soul, he took her pension and disappeared. He arrived here. I never saw him for a long time, just to claim the money of her pension since they were married. And it is legal right to have her pension, and just disappeared. So to me, and this is just a summary, because I am also homeless. This is not my house. I've been kindly helped by a friend, which sometimes gives me some comfort and a warm place to stay or a fresh place to stay, so that I can recover from my condition and hopefully find a way in my life where I have independency. Independency for me was always a problem, because neither I wasn't good enough, or I was seen as not intelligent because of my heritage. And it seems absurd, I know, but my mom was in a family of very, very difficult people that were not accepting of other ethnicities. So my father's behavior, the general one that they knew, the violent, arrogant, cruel, and blah blah blah, but they didn't know about the worst that he was doing. And I couldn't talk, honestly. I wanted to, but I couldn't. So I will not try to go too much on that. They were very judgmental, and they are. So I only had my stepbrother, which was from another father, so same mother. And he's white, which is not relevant, but he would often, he knew about what happened to me because I eventually opened up only to him, and then he used that to his advantage. When I decided to rebel against him and to escape from him, as he's also quite associated to criminality, and I didn't want to go back to the life that my father gave to me as a child, if that's a life. I escaped, and I was successful, and I'm grateful to God to be here, but I had to sacrifice a refuge or anything else. It has been almost a year now. We're getting close to a year, so I would say a few months. And in my city, there are no shelters for women. Unless you have a child or a family or an active situation of violence, something that you can prove, which I did not have, aside from my own body. I carry the scars, but legally speaking, that is not enough. Sorry, I'm trying to. So I gave up. And not because I didn't want to seek justice, but because I was going against a power that was not possible for me to fight. And also I have to resolve this situation where I am lost, and I was even more lost before. But while I was going around trying to find a place to stay, try to find or to keep a job, I understood how hurt I was, how difficult it was and it is for me to talk to people to have even more, a bit more friends. Anything that could make me feel human again. So it is difficult for me to maintain a job without having the scare of being looked at or being perceived as ugly or wrong, especially because my country current state doesn't help people like us. As said, there are no shelters, and I would have to go outside the city, and I do not have the money for it. So I have only this friend that is helping me to stay here for a while, like a few days a week. But then for the other time, I am outside. And before her, before she was able to give me some extreme helpful resources and help, I was completely lost in the streets. I was disgusted by people, specifically men, unfortunately, coming to me trying to get me in the street, and I always refused. But I did drink a lot, smoked a lot, and tried desperately to survive in an environment that is difficult and cruel for women, especially, and children. In a government that doesn't really care right now. But politics aside, why I have decided to make this video? Well, I am still a lost soul, pretty much. But I am doing my very best to find the courage to live in this world. Before I escaped, my stepbrother secluded me for 10 years. I was living with him, but I could not go out. And he has good connections, very good connections, and he will not find me here. Is very good school, old school, sorry, but at the same time, it is not intelligent unless I would move from the country, which I tried, by the way. But my aunt, from my father's side, turned out to be extremely abusive. And by the way, everything that I'm saying is documented in my Reddit, so I have documents and everything, as much as possible to communicate to you that what I'm saying is not fake. It is important because in this time of problems and tribulations, many people are scamming others or not providing, evidences to even make people believe them. So some ask for money, others ask for favors, and I want to be sure that my story is shared with as many proof that I can share without doxing myself too much or at all, possibly, to you guys. So this channel is for that. This channel is for me opening up to God, learning the words of God, the Bible, and everything that can make me closer to who I see as my Father now, which is the Lord. And this video is a bit of a mess. I apologize, but at the same time, I do believe that making a script or writing down something would have not been as authentic as just speaking my mind. So I think it's also my way, this channel will be my way to, as I said at the beginning, record my journey. Oops. But at the same time, um, find a way to connect to God in a more focused way, because my mind is filled with pain and anxiousness, and it got to the point where I, as you see from my wig that I constantly try to readjust, I shave myself, and because I feel ugly, I feel wrong. And it got to the point that when I was in the streets, completely in the streets, before my friend started to help me out a little bit, I like, she can only give me a place to stay sometimes, not more. But I appreciate that a lot. It is a lot for me. So what can I say? Basically, when I was feeling even worse than I am feeling now, in a sense, I understood that it was a chance. I didn't have my brother, who also is not a believer. I didn't have my mother. I didn't have my father, with his twisted ways to justify in the name of God what he would do to children. And I won't dwell into that. I won't go into details, don't worry. But basically it made me understand that there was nothing else and no one else blocking me from going towards God. And I still struggle to go to a church or to find somebody to learn the Bible. So I've been trying to study on my own, but I am perfectly understanding that I should seek a pastor, and it will come in time. I think that God will help me find strength to move towards relationships and of any kind, of trusting, of a friendship, or of a guide, somebody that can make me understand and learn. But at the same time, in this solitude that I am right now, aside from very few people which are not believers, but at the same time they do not have anything against Christians, I am finding my own way. And I think this is a trial, I guess. I am trying to find a way to also become more disciplined, since it's very difficult to just wake up and read and pray when you have so many things that you should do, and when sometimes I'm in the street and I'm just freezing, or it's too hot and I'm hungry or something, and I need to provide for myself in food banks or anything, and I need to find a job and take it and keep it without having panic attacks or anxious attacks that will eventually make people push you away because they don't understand, and that is the word. The rules of this world are ruthless, but the realm of the Lord and Jesus Christ is not. And I understood that. I came to realize that everything that happened to me happened for a reason. And the things that I cannot take, it has to be given to the Lord. Anger towards my father, anger towards my mother, anger towards this life, towards others, towards people who have hurt me, or would judge me, or will see me as a lazy person, or somebody that just doesn't want to get out from the situation, that doesn't try enough. This pain and this judgment and this feeling of pain, of being lost, has to go towards God through prayer, discipline, and calm. So that is a fraction of my life. But at the same time, it got to the point of, as I said, I shaved myself still out of seeing myself as inappropriate because of my heritage, or even though I know it's not true, and I do not believe that people of color or anything else of that sort are wrong. My father, even though he is a black man, showed me that I am a mixed mistake myself, not everybody else, So this internalized hate is still going, and it got to the point of, this, but also of not being able to hold the Bible. I thought that I was not worthy of it, and sometimes, many times, I still do feel like I should not even enter a church. I should not touch something holy, because God has, in my head, especially before I started the journey, I was like, who would want such a twisted soul close to them? Because if the human beings, the people, have decided that I am wrong, it doesn't matter what I do, the people around me, many people helped me. They were kind, and they are still, but the majority of them are very, very difficult to deal with, and it doesn't help when you already feel a mistake, when you were you were brought up in this world as a threat towards your mother, and eventually an object to sell, and then something useless completely. So I got to that point of not being able to even touch a Bible or even go close to a cross or anything, not because I was scared, but because I was repulsed by myself. And while I was in the streets, I saw so many people. Even now, when my friend is unable to keep me for a while, I see lost souls who are resentful and filled with hatred. But I think that what they don't understand is that it's not God. This cruelty and this situation come from the rules of this world, of the world that we live in, but it's nothing spiritual. The cruelty that is happening right now, globally or to people, comes from the world, from us. And we were born with sin. We are prone to sin. And I understood that God is love, that God is kind, that He has a plan. And what He says is true. The Bible is true. But you have to surrender and to give what is not in your control in His loving hands. And that applies to anger too, applies to wanting vengeance or becoming aggressive or too passive towards, like in my case, towards many things in life. But at the same time, I understood that it's different, that the Lord's realm, heaven, and it is not for mortals, for human beings that are still alive to see. And of course, this is just my opinion as I'm learning, but there's a difference between the word of man and the word of God. And despite all, everything happens for a reason. And this pain that I'm going through right now had made me available to open my heart to God fully and to focus towards myself, my healing, the love towards myself, because God loves me, and therefore there is no necessity to hate myself, and that I am worthy of God, and that I am forgiven for the mistakes that I've made, and forgiven for what happened to me that I often feel responsible for. So I think this is it before I get a little bit emotional. And I hope my channel will be absolutely humble. And I don't have much. I just have a little microphone and my iPad, and occasionally my phone, but that is all that I own with me. So I will never make like extraordinary videos with sounds and all, but I will post another video where I will read you some verses or things that I read in the Bible. Hopefully it will help you to relax or to just listen, and it will be officially after, with this video and with the new video, the ASMR video, it will be my first steps against violence, against anger, pain, self-hatred, anything. I believe in love. I do. I am scared of it. I'm always thinking like, oh my God, this person or this thing, that is happening will turn bad, or this person will want a second motive. So many times that happened to me. But that is not love. And God is love, and the people that help you, especially Christians that have helped me, did that because of God's love. God gave them to me, and I am extremely grateful. So it is far from over, and this is not one of those ASMR channels where I, as I said, will be super aesthetic or incredible sounds or anything, and I am not, unfortunately, still able to make a video where I can say I am finally with God and safe. But at the same time, this is a journey, and I want to, as I said, record it, and so that when I am stumbling and I am I'm feeling lost, or I'm outside and I do not recognize myself as worthy of God's love, of Jesus Christ's love, then I rewatch my own videos, grounded, and I ground myself back to who I am for real, not the scared, paranoid, lost sheep, but the little sheep that is trying to get back to her shepherd, which is the Lord. So I hope that I wasn't too weird. And forgive me for any mistakes that I might have. As I said, this is my first year where I am learning as I can about God and about the Bible. So I apologize for any mistakes, or when I don't understand something. Also, English clearly is not my first language, but I feel more comfortable talking in English, and the Bible that I was able to get is in English. So I prefer it this way, and hopefully this ASMR channel will not only bring you comfort, but also help you, if you feel lost in any situation, to ground yourself back to your roots, which is God, and to keep yourself disciplined. And hopefully this channel will also help me for this journey, to complete it maybe one day. So thank you everybody for listening to me, to my testimony. And I know it is not over, or it is not like one of those videos where it's just like, I found God and this is the beautiful thing that happened. But I can tell you, and so now I'm fine. But I can tell you, even though I might not be fine now, I feel way better. I became from this lost, hateful person, isolated because of fear and hatred, to a much more calmer person. And even though I struggle with people and I'm still like flustered or alone, or I have difficulties in asking for help and all that, I am different in the sense, in my heart I feel like a huge pain, like an ocean of pain. That what I used to say to my mother when she would say sometimes, what do you feel? Like what? Like it seems like you're always sad. Like what's going on? And I couldn't make myself say what was going on. And so I would just reply, it's like a bucket of pain, or and then it became an ocean of pain. And this pain felt rotten, like it was in my blood. And I got to the point where I didn't want to make blood analysis to keep myself in check, because I thought that from my veins black rot would come out. And it is a conviction that has finally gone after years and years and years and years and years of being convinced that I was wrong and I was rotten, and I had no place in God's love. But it is incredibly life-changing when you surrender and you feel something inside you. I can't explain it. It's a warmth, it's something that gives you strength. When you were desperately trying to find some, it comes naturally now. And when, even if the Lord knows that I have still a lot of problems, it is way easier to deal with them with calm, and grounding has become very easy. And I follow a channel. If you don't know about it, it's the Healing Word ASMR from the lovely lady, and I always listen to her, and she helps me a lot to ground myself when my faith is slipping away or fear is taking over. I'm like, I can't do it, I can't do it, I can't do it. I can, because God is with me. So I am worthy of love, and one day things are gonna be as good as possible, because I have faith in God. But even if it doesn't happen, that is His will. And sometimes when you struggle too much towards the anxiety towards the future, it causes even more pain. By surrendering your soul and your heart to God, you accept what happens. And to me, it's already something that I am free. And I did not know a year ago if running away from that place would give me consequences that, well, I wouldn't be here to talk about. So I am grateful to God for making me free, having made me able and strong enough to just stop with all that, with that silence, and move away, even if it meant to be where I am now. But things are starting to move still. So hopefully things are gonna go well, because God is with me and loves me and loves you too. So brothers and sisters, thank you so much for having taken time for this video. I know it's long, but hopefully you will enjoy my channel, and hopefully you will maybe find some help through this channel, and if not, I hope that you will be close to me too in this journey with your heart. And I will probably leave a link to donations, but I did not make this channel for money. As I said, it's like a diary, you know, something that helps me with my discipline, but also records from today to another day, to another day, to a month, to 2 months, and all that. And in the meantime, I will add what I learn, or in ASMR format, because I love ASMR, and I would like to give what I can to people, because I just feel like I want to do that. And yeah, so God bless you, and take care of yourselves, and have a good night or have a good day.